Don't these Saturdays come round quickly? It's the last table talk of January already. Usually a really long month, but it's gone like that. Hello and welcome to Model Kit Stuff and welcome to this week's Table Talk. If you're one of my new subscribers, a massive welcome to the channel, and for all of you that have been here before, welcome back. It's lovely to see you. So if you've not watched the Table Talk before, what we do in this video is we talk about what happened last week. We talk about what's coming up in the week ahead. We talk about what's been happening on the model bench. It's the place where you find out everything. We sometimes do stuff behind the scenes, and we talk about other things like friends and family and events and news and anything that might be of interest, or I feel like I want to get off my chest, really. It's the part where you get to interact with me and not just see my hands as we build a model or review a kit. So it's the personable bit of the week, and I really enjoy doing these. I mentioned last week that they can be quite stressful to do, and that's right, but I really look forward to doing them and I enjoy them. And some weeks I worry that I've not got really anything to talk about, but this week is definitely not one of them. Shall we start with Bolton, because that didn't happen for me and I'm absolutely gutted. So Bolton Model Show, it is literally an 18-minute drive door to door for me, and I've been going to it for years, but this year just everything started going wrong. So everyone in the family had had colds and bits and pieces like that the week before. I started feeling under the weather late on the Friday night. I woke up on the Saturday, fuzzy-headed and all that sort of stuff. Our Sunday was feeling a bit worse, but not only that, Sunday was my test day for Zoe. So I'd already decided that I couldn't make it at 10 o'clock. I'm usually there in the initial queue, and that I'd have to go after lunch. So my testing period would finish at 1 o'clock. We'll talk a little bit about that in a sec, actually. So I wasn't expecting to get there till 1:30, 2 o'clock, but I still felt I had enough time to go and film all the stalls and bits and pieces, which is the main reason that I was going. I wasn't too fussed about picking up anything from one of the vendors, because, to be quite honest, increasingly I find that you get better deals online. So I was really going to see the show, and I know one or two of you were looking forward to saying hello and hopefully bumping into me. So I can only say I'm really, really sorry, but I had a combination of not feeling so good, Zoe test day, and then something came along family-wise that we weren't expecting, and I needed to cover that off, and you know, it was just more important than going to a model show, unfortunately. So it didn't turn out. I'm sorry for those of you that might have been hoping to bump into me. I was hoping to bump into one or two of you as well. So apologies for that. But that's life, isn't it? Those things happen. Sunday was my big test day on Zoe. So this is Zoe. That's my blood sugar monitor. So that went on Sunday. So my kit arrived. You get a great big yellow box, and in there is like a blood test kit for measuring blood fat, a stool kit for measuring all sorts of stuff, your gut bacteria, the blood sugar monitor, and then a food test thing. So that turned up. Sunday was the best day to do it, because I felt I might need someone with me for a couple of the tests, because we had to time things and this, that and the other, and also had to not move. I wasn't allowed to exercise, so I couldn't walk around a model show. So in the morning I had to eat 2 cookies within 15 minutes. And I thought, oh, that'll be easy. But my God, it was like eating massive cream crackers. They were really, really dry. And they were like old, if you remember Farley's rusks, if any of you that have had kids, or, I remember them from being a kid, Farley's rusks really dry. And you ended up mixing them with formula or with milk or something to turn them into a porridge. But you could eat them dry and they were really hard and dusty. They were like that, but harder. And as you got closer to the middle of the cookie, they seemed to get even harder. And actually eating them in 15 minutes became a bit of a challenge. So for breakfast, I had to have these cookies, and then I had to sit still for 4 hours. I sat sort of here. So that was perfect. I had an excuse, 4 hours Sunday, not to move. Not that I moved much from there anyway on a Sunday morning. Then at lunchtime, I had to have a couple of blue cookies. So they had a blue dye in them, and the idea is to time how long it takes for it to work through your digestive system and come out the other end, which was really interesting because it's a measure of how healthy your gut bacteria is. Plus, there's all sorts of other stuff in there, and we had to put this on, which was I was like, it has a needle like about that long. Might be exaggerating a little bit, but that, when you first see it, it's like, look, that's got to go on my arm. But actually, it's in a little device, and you put it on your arm, and I could feel the tip of the needle, and I was thinking, this is going to hurt. I know this is going to hurt, and I'm not particularly fussed about needles as a rule. I prefer not to have a needle stuck in me, but when they're taking blood and stuff, as I have to do it every year because I have a hypertension review, then I'm not that fussed really. But you press this button and it went in. I didn't feel a thing. The anticipation was a lot worse, and then you shove this plaster on it. So I wear that for 14 days, and it's really cool. I have an app on my phone, and all I do is open up the app, press scan, like that, touch that. That just went off, and then it tells me my blood sugar rating. I'm not sure if you can see that. There you go, 5.4, and I'm fairly flatlining. If you can see the line. So yeah, been really interesting monitoring my blood sugar because I'm learning things that I didn't know. So, for example, most mornings I have porridge for breakfast, or overnight oats, which is yogurt that's being soaked up by these porridge oats. And I do that because it's a superfood and it's filling and it should keep me full till lunchtime. So I have some porridge with some mixed berries on and some seeds, some chia seeds and flax seeds. It's been my routine for quite some time. Anyway, the blood sugar spikes like a rocket when I've had that. So I assumed it was the sugar in the fruit. You would, wouldn't you? So I tried it the next day without the fruit. Vroom, like a rocket again. So I swapped it the following day, had exactly the same thing, but swapped the porridge for just natural Greek yogurt. Complete flatline. So it's the porridge is giving me a sugar spike, which is interesting because I'm on the borderline of being diabetic, and I don't want to go there. And so I'm learning stuff that I thought was the right thing to do. It's actually doing the opposite. So my understanding is that those blood spikes, because you then get a drop, they can make you hungry. So actually, the porridge was doing the exact opposite of the reason I was eating it. So I'm learning loads. I've started to lose a little bit of weight. Definitely lost a little bit of weight, which is interesting because this isn't a diet. The aim of the reason why I'm doing this is not to lose weight. It's to manage my gut better. I was diagnosed a couple of years ago with probable IBS, which is what doctors say when they don't really know, is what it seems to be. But I get I also have a hernia, and so that gets inflamed from time to time. I have to be careful about my acid. I can't eat tomatoes at all. I can only eat onions in small amounts. I can only have one coffee a day, but that's good because coffee beans are a plant, and it counts to my 30 plants a week. So that's perfect. So I've got all these things going on, and I wanted to manage my stomach better because I get a lot of problems with it. But doing this, the offshoot is that my body should find its natural weight from just correcting how I eat. So I'm waiting for my results. I've done all the tests, sent them all off. We did a blood test, took blood from my arm, filled a little vial. You do it all yourself. The instructions come through the app, and they're absolutely brilliant. They have a video talking you through it. Then they have text taking you through it step by step. It's really, really good. And at the end of it, I'll get this report that tells me what's going well, what's not going so well, and things to avoid and things to include. And then for the next 12 months, I will get support through the app of what I eat, what's good for me, what's bad, and I can just scan a barcode in a shop, and it'll tell me if it's good, bad, or in the middle. So I've been logging my meals this week so that they can understand what it is that I eat and how they can change my eating habits. And it's all done by leading nutritionists. The company was founded by some leading scientists in nutrition, and it's fascinating. And if you're interested in it, on YouTube, if you search for Zoe, it has that logo there, which I think you can see. So ZOE, Zoe, and there's loads and loads of YouTube videos and a podcast and all that sort of stuff that they do, and you can find out all of this stuff. So you don't have to do what I do and join it and do the program. That's a business offshoot of it. But you can just read around it. I gotta say, I'm thoroughly enjoying my food. I'm not counting calories. I'm losing weight. I've got more energy. I'm feeling better, and I'm not even doing it properly yet. So fascinating. So that was sort of my Sunday, kicking off all of that, which is fantastic. So then. So that's sort of why Bolton didn't happen, I guess. Now, you will remember that in last week's table talk, I said I had some stuff on order for the B17 and that I was sort of hoping it had arrived. Well, it didn't actually turn up until Thursday this week, and here it is. So I'm going to show you what I've got for the B17. So I've got everything that I want now for it, so that is ready to go as soon as we've finished the Matchbox, the Matchbox build, and we'll have a look and talk about that. Well, we had a look at that last week, didn't we? It wasn't Matchbox weekend last weekend, so there's nothing more for you to see on that. We'll be talking Scharnhorst later instead. So I got, I've never tried these people before, Armory models. I've got resin wheels, and I've got to say, they look quite nice. So resin wheels, got all three wheels there, and it includes vinyl masks, which is a nice touch. What I can't see on there is any sidewall writing, so whether it's on the other side or it's not included because of licensing, I don't know. But without having opened the package, they look okay. So yeah, we've got those. How they attach and stuff like that, I don't know. We will see. But these are made in the Ukraine, I noticed. So good to be supporting a Ukrainian company. So that's that. Now, Quick Boost I have used before. I used them on the Walrus, and I really like it. It's very, very high quality resin if you've not used them before. So I've got a couple of their things. There's loads you can get for the Flying Fortress. But I've only got the things that I think are gonna be visible. Propellers, which come with a tool for fixing it on because they're individual blades, so no cleanup. really nice. And we've got the mount in the middle there, so all we've got to do is cut them off and glue them in. But you put the spinner in a little cup there, and then this is angled so that the blade is tilted properly and gets the right angle on. So that's really, really lovely. And yeah, so we've got 2 of those, which covers all 4 engines. Yeah, that's right. So that's good, and I think it said for Airfix kits, but I reckon you could probably do most 172 B17s with that, because the propellers are the propellers, and unlike other parts where scaling of the kit might be different, it's not going to be different on the propellers and the spinner particularly. So yeah, that's a nice addition. And I also got, I ummed and ahed about these, to be honest, but they looked so lovely I couldn't say no. So I also got, again from Quick Boost, 4 engines, and they look beautiful. They really, really do. Yeah, very, very nice indeed. So yeah, I'm going to be, I think I got exhausts and lamps for the Walrus from Quick Boost, and I was mightily impressed. So yeah, I had no hesitation in buying their stuff again, and they do certainly look a lot more detailed than the plastic parts are going to be. So that should add to the final look. So it's all exterior stuff. I got some replacement turbochargers. These are brassing ones. I've not looked inside the box, but certainly on the box they look phenomenal. So a lot more detail than we'll have on the plastic ones. So yeah, should be a nice upgrade, because they're quite visible as well. And then finally I got a Montex mask set. So I really like the Montex stuff. I've got several of their things. I've only ever used them in anger once, but I have got several of them. And it covers off the wheels, all the glazing, and also we can do the major letters, the stars and bars, and all that sort of stuff. So we can really have some fun with that, and that means we've got decals to go in the spares, which is always good. And yeah, we should be able to have a little bit of fun. So that's everything that I wanted to get. I did look at a replacement cockpit and gunners, the interior area for the gunners, which you can get in resin. And I ummed and ahed about it, and it went in my basket at Hannant's, and then I ended up taking it out because you're just not going to see it. You are just not going to see it. And I thought about it, and I flicked through the instructions. And what Airfix do is the very front part of the cockpit, they put some detail in, and as you'd expect, seats and bits and pieces like that. But behind the seats, it's all blank. And these resin parts had all the detail and stuff that was on there. But I think Airfix have done that because they know that when you peer in, you simply can't see it. It's not visible at all. So it was like 18 quid, and then you add in another 12 quid for the bomb aimers area as well. So, you know, you're talking 35 quid for something that's you're just not going to see, and the kit parts are sufficient given the visibility. So I decided to get nothing for the interior and just concentrate on the exterior. So I'm happy with what I've got. I think we'll improve the wheels, we'll improve the engines and the propellers, which will be nice because these are definitely thinner than the plastic parts. We'll improve the turbochargers, which are sort of the main detail element on top of the surface. Airfix have done a really good job of the rest of the surface detail, and then we can mask it off and try and make it look nice. So for me, that covers all my bases. So yeah, very nice. And I got all of that from Hannant's. Even the Edward stuff, even though I can get my Bunny membership discount, it's actually too expensive to buy direct from Edouard now because of the shipping costs. So I buy it from Edouard or somewhere else where they've brought it in by bulk, and I only have to pay internal shipping costs. So that works better for me. So yeah, I got that. So that's our B-17 Flying Fortress, ready to go as soon as we finish the Matchbox build, which I don't think will take very long at all. Right then. Let's talk about what happened on the channel last week. So we kicked off Monday with a review of these glass sanders. Here they are here. So I've actually not used them since I did that video, and I filmed that video in December. So I don't use them very often, to be honest. And they caused a mixed reaction. There's some people who've already got them, find that they really like them. There's other people that said got them, don't find I use it very often, or I use it for certain jobs. And other people who've not got them, who are sort of going, well, the pricey, or yeah, look like they're a bit of a gimmick. There was no one going, wow, I can see lots of uses for this. I don't know what you're on about. I always try and give an honest view, and when there's positive things to say, I say them, but if there's negative things to say, I say them as well, so that you can take a view from someone who's used it in the round and make a decision whether that product or that tool is right for you and your modelling, because we're all different. What we make is all different. That's clear from the subscriber showcase. We're all doing different things. How we like to model is different. The products we like are different. Our habits and the way we go around things, they're all different. So what works for me might not work for you, and vice versa. So it was really interesting to see people's reactions, and it certainly caused people to react. So I think the general consensus was a bit of a gimmick. And, you know, someone said, oh, I use them, but I've never thought about the fact that you can see through them. But it does say on the packet, it does say on the sales bump on the internet that that's the main advantage of them. And it's not really. So what will happen with them over time, how long they'll last, I don't know. I got some good ideas and tips on how to clean them up, soft toothbrush and that sort of stuff. Yeah, because I have a wire brush for cleaning my files, so basically the same sort of thing. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they last. I might change my view over time. Someone asked if they'd be better on clear parts. Not tried them on clear parts, but when I do, I'll be sure to mention it. So that's how we kicked off. So that was Monday. What did we do on? Oh yeah, the Sea Fury. Right, let's talk about the Sea Fury. Now the Sea Fury, I've built before, as I said in the first impressions video, and it's a really fun build. The only issue I had was lining up the radiator opening in the wing. It's got one on one wing, but doesn't have one on the other, and I couldn't line them up particularly well, as I seem to remember. But I think the new release in the harder plastic has added to it, and I think the 3 paint options you get this time, because there's only 2 last time, they also add to it. So yeah, they have done a Spitfire in that red civilian one, so in the same scale, so that would go nicely with it as well. If you wanted to do the red, you could sit them next to each other. That'd look pretty cool. But I'm going to do the Australian version. I have been asked if I'm planning to do it anytime soon. So many models, so little time. But I think the short answer is I am thinking of doing that one during the course of this year, because I just build it straight from the box. We'll do it in sort of showroom condition as new. That doesn't mean we don't do any weathering on it, obviously, because we still need to add shadow and bits and pieces. But it means we're not making it look mucky and used and what have you. We can have it all shiny and nice. So yeah, I think we'll try and build that one this year, because it doesn't take too long for 148. It's quite an imposing model. You know, it's a big aircraft. You'd be surprised when you see next to us some other 148 stuff. It's a big aircraft. So yeah, it'll be fun to build that. When exactly this year, I don't know. I try and keep it balanced. So we're just finishing an aircraft, then we're doing tanks, then we're doing another aircraft, then we're doing the Tempo, which is a vehicle. So then we'll be ready for another aircraft or figures, which might be going on in the background, or I might choose to sort of finish them up at that point. Or I could swap it all out and do sci-fi and then do aircraft and then do another vehicle. Don't know. So, you know, that's already sounding like a full year already. So yeah, I'll try and get it in this year because I'm looking forward to building it. But I'm also looking forward to building the Gannet, and there's that 124 Spitfire as well, and the Vulcan, and the list goes on. So yeah, at some point we'll try and get it in, but it's a relatively quick build. And we've not built it before on the channel, and I've not done anything Australian before on the channel. So given this year's theme is doing something a bit different, it might fit into that quite nicely. So yeah, watch this space is all I can say. Watch Table Talk on a Saturday, because that's where we talk about the plans. And as soon as it's sort of on my radar that's what we're going to do, you'll be the first to know. So then, Scharnhorst. So as I'm recording this, for those of you that don't know, I record it on a Friday. So I record it before the Friday night premiere goes out. So Scharnhorst would be what you saw yesterday, and hopefully that's gone to plan. No reason why not, although my video on Wednesday, my first impressions didn't, as I'm sure a number of you spotted and very politely didn't mention. It still had the Zukimura Focke-Wulf titles in. So what? It's a strange thing. I use iMovie for my photo editing, which is free with my MacBooks, and it's actually really good. You can do it in 4K. It's easy to use, and it doesn't cost me anything. So it's win all around. But it does have one or two little annoying habits, and one of them is to change back your changes. So I'm in the habit, when I've completed my video and I've got to the end and I've finished the editing. So you start at the start of the video and you end at the end of the video, yeah? So I'll have all my unedited material dumped in. I've already got my titles there from last time, and I've got my end titles as well. So all I have to do is remove what was in the middle, delete it all out, and then put in my new material for editing. Then edit it all up. And I'm in the habit of putting a little piece of video before the titles. And what that does is it firstly introduces the topic, but it also forces me to go through the titles. So I'll then go through the titles, correct the titles, and go, right, okay, this is an Airfix 1350 aircraft carrier. I wish. And then I edit the rest of it, and I get to the end, and I make sure that the music's faded in correctly, and the length of the titles is correct, because you have to have the end plane titles the right length so that you've got enough time for your end screens to come on, because they're put on by YouTube, not by me. I select which ones I want to go on. So at the end of the video, when you get those three little images, you get the link to my channel page, which is my smiley face that's not smiling. You get a link to a video that is best suited to you. So if you're an armoured fighting vehicle modeler, you should see something up there that would fill within your interest, and that's done off the algorithm and what you tend to click on. So even if you've watched Scharnhorst, if you predominantly do aircraft, you'll see one of my aircraft videos there. And then the video on the right is a video that I've selected, or sorry, a playlist that I've selected. So if you've been watching a build, it's usually the playlist for the rest of the build. If you're watching Table Talk, it's usually the playlist for the build from the day before on the Friday. And if you're watching a first impressions, it's usually the playlist for first impressions, and so on. You get the idea. But so they've got to be long enough. The titles has got to be long enough to make sure you've got time for those to appear, because they appear on an exact number of seconds before the end of the video. So if my title's too short, they'll appear before I finish talking, which will catch me out. So I have to do all those checks. And when I've done all those checks, I tend to go right back to the start of the video and just play through the titles, because sometimes I can edit the titles and it looks like it's okay, and then I'll start editing along and it sort of reverts back to the previous one. So I can only think that's happened, and for some reason I've not checked properly or not saved it before I've uploaded it, and it reverted back again. So apologies for that. These things happen. It didn't detract from anybody enjoying it though. So what you should have seen in that video, if you've not already seen it and go and catch it up, is we put all the sort of the plastic bits on the hull, which is getting us towards the end of the first stage of the hull work. So I always view hulls in three stages. You have the roughing out, which is the making alterations. If that's what you're doing, don't do that on everything. But you've got the roughing out, so making any alterations and that sort of stuff. Then you've got the filling stage, where you're putting filler in and correcting things and building things up and all of that sort of stuff. And then you've got the final presentation stage, which is where you're sanding it all back, getting rid of all the filler, making sure all the joints are nice and smooth, priming, sanding, priming, getting it where it wants to be. And that then gets you to the point where you can then start building. And where I am at the end of this weekend is I'm at the end of roughing it out. So I've got the forecastle in now. Let me lift this up, and then you can see I've made some major modifications to it. We've put the hose pipe in the right place. We've modified the steel decks, which were incorrect. We're in the process of roughing out the hose pipe openings and correcting the shape there. So we've done quite a bit on that. We've also sanded the deck flat, ready for the wood overlay. And so, yeah, and I'm quite happy with how that's all come together. This weekend I was working on this other side. So you'd seen me on video doing this side, but I hadn't done the other side of the hull at all. So I did that at the weekend to catch up. So we're now finished with roughing out. So my next stage is to do the filling, and we'll do that with a number of different products. Milliput being the hardest product that we'll use, and I don't mean hard to use, but being hard in terms of it doesn't shrink and it holds its shape and stuff. So it's great for filling your scuttles. I know that's a different way to how Nigel's choosing to do it. Nigel prefers to use plastic as much as he can, and I do as well, but I'm not afraid of using different fillers. So we'll be doing that. It's great for shaping. Milliput is great for shaping and what have you. So we can fill in various different bits and shape them, and they'll hold the shape, and that's all good. And then we've got other fillers we can use for filling cracks and joins and bits and pieces like that. So filling is the next thing to do. How much of that we end up putting on video, I don't know, because it's not the most interesting thing to watch. But some of it we will, to show you what we do. So that's primarily what I was working on at the weekend, was getting that other side done. We got that in, put the holes in the hull ready for mounting it on its base. So I had to work out where the various little wood strips will be underneath and so on. Again, it looks like not much happened, but it was hours of work. I'll be glad when you can start seeing, when I've spent a Sunday morning on it and you can see all the vents on the deck. and that feels like there's a bit more of a reward for your effort. But it's coming together nicely. I'm happy with it, but there's still quite a bit of work to do on the hull, because once we've done the filling, we've got to sand it all back. We've got to correct it all, make sure everything's nicely filled in, and probably dressing things more than once. And then once all that's done and we can put a primer down and it looks ready to go, we've got to make sure that we've got our wriggles on. And I also want to put in the little mounting hooks where people put the block and tackle for the plank of wood for painting, and they go the full length. I've got rivets to put on the hull as well, and the mounting points for the booms and bits and pieces before we actually start painting. So there's still quite a bit to do, but I'm enjoying it, and that's the main thing. That's why we do it. Yeah. So lots of fun with that at the weekend. We also did, every Saturday morning I do a little bit on the Endeavour, but I only put a video out every other week. So it'll be, there's 22 steps, and I think there'll be in total 24 videos. It might be 25. I might end up doing my thoughts on the build roundup video. I don't know yet, but this is where we're up to. So by doing a video every other week, it means I can get ahead with the video. So I think I've done 10 videos, and you've watched 5 or 6 at this stage. So I'm quite a bit ahead. And once you've got past the deck and the painting, everything else for a little while, doing all these deck fittings and things that we're about to do, are fairly quick jobs. So the deck house, that's been made over 3 different videos, believe it or not. So that they're considerably shorter than the planking the deck video and the painting videos. So yeah, I'm really happy with how she's coming together. You can see we've got the whales on with the little cleats there. They look awesome. And then we've got this deck house in, which isn't finished. We've got this Saturday, I'll be putting on some skylights on the back, and then we'll be giving it a varnish. So yeah, it is not finished. But yeah, I am very happy with how it's going together. Now, there's 22 steps in the build, and the reason why I'll be doing a couple more videos is I want to do a video on making the wooden stand, which is just a build stand, a bit more presentable, so you can actually use it as a final display stand. So we'll be doing that as well, which we're going to have to get round to fairly quickly. So anyway, that's going really well, and as soon as I finish that, I'm going to be jumping back onto Fly. People keep asking me about it. It was the subscribers that persuaded me to do this first, so we're doing that, and then we'll get back to the Victory Models Fly, and we'll do that on a Saturday morning. And because I've managed to get ahead, I'm hoping that when the last video goes out on that, I've probably got a couple of months worth of videos to go out, that I can start getting material together for Fly and be ahead on Fly. And my intention with the Fly videos is to make those longer videos than these, and have them a minimum of half an hour, 45 minutes, that sort of length, and put them out in the Wednesday slot. So we won't do as many first impressions, but we'll have an extra build every other week or something like that, or every month or something. I just don't know yet how that's going to flow. Depends on the pace of it, because when you're doing a proper wooden kit, some things can take ages to do and not take that long to film and show you what to do. So though there'll be less of that, we'll just see how it works out. But yeah, Endeavour's going really, really well. So that was the 2 things I focused on this week on the modelling bench. Don't think we really did anything else worth mentioning? I did put the B17 into its build tray. There it is there. Might just see some of the old Airfix blue plastic there. That's the B17. So that's ready to go afterwards. And the weekend coming up, this weekend, I'll be working on Endeavour and the Matchbox kit. And I hope to finish the tank build and put the primer down and start painting up the diorama-y elements. So that'll be a lot of fun. It'll be such a nice change from all the messing around with files and sanding and filling and hard labour on the Scharnhorst hull. Then on a Saturday, I do some bits and pieces of wood, which is nice and leisurely. And then on the Sunday, I'm just doing painting. So no filing, no sanding. So I've got 3 very different types of modelling happening at the weekend, which is a really nice place to be, I think. Now, I suspect some of you know what this is, and this is the other sort of major thing that happened this week. Airfix brought out their new 2024 club members pack. This is mine. It arrived a couple of days ago. I have done a video about it. I've not sort of done a video to go, oh, this is what you should buy into, nothing like that. I'm not sponsored by Airfix. I've paid for it myself. What I've done is a little video, which should, all being well, come out tomorrow. And it basically says, look, this is why I chose to buy it, and you need to think about whether it works for you or not. I'm not there to sell Airfix membership or anything like that. But what I can show you is the kits that you get this year. Kits plural. So they've done a D-Day special this year, and you get those. So you get 2 172 scale kits. You've got a Hawker Typhoon number 245, Northern Rhodesia Squadron, Royal Air Force, Holmesley, South Hampshire, England, 1944. And then a Supermarine Spitfire, number 541 Squadron, Royal Air Force, Benson, Oxfordshire, England, 1944, both with D-Day markings on. I really like this one in blue. Obviously, if you're not aware, when the Airfix Club ones are always a special edition, so they're not releasing this to the general public. You can only get this by becoming a member. I mean, the kits are available, and there's 22 quid's worth of kits there by my reckoning. But you won't get those decal options on those kits at all. So you only get them through here. We've got 2 kits. The Spitfire is a relatively old kit, I think, and the Typhoon is the newer Typhoon, I think, which I'm fairly sure Alice built and quite enjoyed. But yeah, so yeah, 2 nice little kits. But if you watch my video, I'll tell you what the value of this and how much you need to get back to make it work if you want these kits, or if you want to flog these kits because you don't want them. So, you know, it might be interesting to some of you if you're umming and ahhing. It's all relevant on how many kits you want to buy and how you want to buy them. But I'll talk you through that in the video. But yeah, so that's coming tomorrow, all being well. If I get it edited on time and the uploading speeds are all good, it'll be there. If not, you'll probably see it on Tuesday, because I don't like to put 2 videos out in a day. It messes around the algorithms, apparently. So I try and avoid that. Right, now then, special people time before we talk about what's happening next week. I want to say thank you to a couple of people that donated to the channel this week. So that's Paul Plastic Monkey, who has a channel, and you should go and check that out. We're going to talk more about other channels in a minute. And Jeff7128, I think that's your number, yes. Both of you, a big thank you for your donations. Greatly appreciated, as always. I know both of you have given before on several occasions. So I don't do membership, and I don't do Patreon, and I don't do Buy Me a Coffee. just because I've not got time to manage anything else. So I leave the channel free at point of use. So you can watch all of my videos for free, enjoy them, and move on. And you know, that's fine and brilliant. Thank you for watching. You can support the channel, however, by not just by watching them, but by sharing them. So you can put a link on your Facebook pages that you might be members of. You know, if you think they might be interested in the subject we've talked about, you can do that. And it's proven that sharing your videos onto places like Facebook can add about 1% onto your subscription numbers for the year. So, you know, that can help. What helps more is if you make a comment and if you do a thumbs up, and then more people get to see that video. And so I tend to get most of my comments on a table talk video because a lot of people, although I do get comments on my build videos, a lot of people are watching them in as they stream as a premiere, and so they're leaving their comments in the live chat rather than underneath, and that does actually affect how many people get to see that video. So strangely enough, so the more comments you get in the comments section, the better. So you can support the channel by hitting the like button and commenting, and if you're a subscriber, that also helps the channel as well, because as the channel grows, it goes into more people's search lists and homes, and they get to see videos that pop up. So all of that helps the channel, and a massive thank you for all of that. If you like the channel, you follow the channel, or if I've done a video that you've found really helpful or useful or insightful, or just you laughed your socks off and it entertained you, whatever it is, you can also hit super thanks at the bottom of all the videos, or if you're in a premiere, you can do super chat, and 60% of whatever you donate will come to the channel, 40% goes to YouTube. Or you can hit the PayPal link that will be underneath this video at any time, and you can donate into my PayPal account. That way the channel gets 100%. None of the money comes to me. I don't go out and spend it on coffees or new sweatshirts or anything like that. It all goes into the channel. So everything the channel generates goes into buying new kits, new products that we can review on the channel, that we can build on the channel effectively. So it's totally self-funding now. So any donations are greatly appreciated, and the more donations we get, the bigger and better the models that we can review as they come out during the course of the year. So it all goes into a budget, and at the moment I depleted the budget as we ended the year, so I'm trying to build that budget up a little bit at the moment. I've got plans to buy a new and improved camera so we can do sharper, more close-up videos. But I think that's going to take some time to do, because the priority is feeding the channel with new kits and bits and pieces. So if you're able to donate, I'm massively appreciative of it, and I will mention you in this spot in the Table Talk video and shout out your name. So thank you very, very much for those of you who have donated over the last few months. It's massively appreciated, and we've managed to buy some awesome stuff as a result, like that great big 1-to-100 Hella tall ship, which was stunning, Le Sol Royale, and various other bits and pieces, and my pre-orders that I've done with Airfix, 3 of them, they're funded by that as well. So even though they're not coming out till later in the year, I know I've got funds for them. So it's little things like that that really help. So yeah, thank you very much. You're welcome to donate, and I'll give you a shout out. Now, there's other channels that I watch, and I don't tend to comment on everything I watch, because quite often when I'm working, I've got my computer there and they're playing in the background, and I'm sort of listening in while I'm working, and I just don't have time. And that's why I'm sometimes 2 or 3 days late with answering comments and things. I have periods where I try and catch up. it keeps me very busy is what I'm saying. So I don't always get a chance to comment on everyone's videos. And there's some people that watch my channel who are also creators, and I do watch your videos. Sometimes I might watch them a few days later than they went out, but I do catch them all, and I do periodically comment, but don't think I'm not watching. So with that in mind, I would like to go through some channels that I watch regularly, so that if you're not aware of them, you can go and watch them, and with a bit of luck, I'll remember to put links for them underneath this video. And if I didn't, someone give me a nudge and I'll remember to do that. So I'm talking to you, James Mower, because you're very good at reminding me about things. Thank you very much, buddy. It's always appreciated. So here are some channels that I've been watching over the last couple of months that I really enjoy. And if you've not watched them, you should definitely go and check them out. Right, off we go then. So some channels that you should check out. Panzermeister36, he focuses on armoured fighting vehicles, does a lot of stuff around painting and weathering. Great channel, a large channel, a good watch if you've not seen it before. SoCal Scale Models does a lot of railroad stuff, so if you're interested in that, it's definitely worth checking out. But he's also been working on the Tamiya Fletcher, the 1350 ship. So yeah, definitely worth checking that out as well. A nice, easy channel to watch, actually. Brett G, I've mentioned him a few times before on the channel. I'm a long-time subscriber to Brett's channel. Brett G, great little channel. He's mixing it up this year. He's doing things a bit differently. So if you haven't watched his channel for a while, it's worth a revisit. Great little channel. Really fantastic modeler, a good watch. Mr. G's Workbench is another channel. He's not prolific in putting his videos out. He gets a couple every couple of weeks, every 3 weeks maybe. Does a lot of stuff on aircraft, and his most recent aircraft focus has been the Mini Art Thunderbolt. Now this channel I've been starting to watch recently. It's called The Model Student. It's a really nice channel to watch. It's sort of easy listening and a really varied range of models. It's a relatively small channel. He's only 374 subscribers as I record this. So it'd be nice for you to go over and hit the subscribe, even if you don't want to hit the notifications bell, and just help him along. But he's doing all sorts of stuff, and definitely check out his Ice Dragon. It's awesome. Now, those are all channels that I sort of dip in and out of depending on what comes up. I tend to watch most of the material that they come out, or listen to it and have it on. But then I have channels that I try not to miss, and these are the channels that I try not to miss. Scale Model Car Guy channel, long-time subscriber of mine, and I've been a long-time subscriber of his. Love his channel, love what he does. If you're into your cars, that's what he does. That's his thing. Definitely worth catching up with that. Plastic Monkey. We've already mentioned him today, but if you haven't seen his channel, go and check him out. He does loads of different things. Ships, aircraft, trucks. Does a lot of Revell stuff. Oh, someone's got to, haven't they? So go and check out that. Definitely worth watching. Captain Charlemagne focuses on ships. Has a really nice laid-back approach to his videos. I really enjoy listening into those. Try not to miss those. Military Modeler Paul, also a regular commenter on my channel. He's working on a Dalek at the moment from Doctor Who, and quite enjoyable videos. I've got to do a bit of catch-up, to be honest. And he's been doing ships, and he's also got a wooden ship on the go. So lots of bits and pieces there. Then there's the Flying Dutchman, Dutch Dave's Modelled Bench. Again, I really enjoy his content. If you've not seen him, please go and check him out. Captain Cuz, again, he does lots of stuff, and he's not afraid of saying, look, help me out here, give me some help. He was asking for help on car finishes the other day, for example. So yeah, go and check him out. Then there's Steve Jones' scale modelling site. He does quite a few walkarounds and bits and pieces like that. Does a lot of stuff on vehicles. Really, really enjoyable, very thorough builds. So definitely one to watch. Models and Beer, we've mentioned him in the past as well. he was doing the big 1-200 Arizona, so some nice stuff comes out of him. Peter over at Our Scale Modelling, of course, we can't not mention Peter. He does a lot of live streams now and a lot of sort of chat and hangouts as on top of his builds, so it's worth going checking out him if you want to talk and catch up with other people and see what he's doing. Yeah, always worth catching up with Peter's stuff. I don't always catch them live, but they're great to listen to in the background. He's just got a nice way of working. Miss Modeler, I'm hoping that we're going to do a Meet the Creator with her soon. But yeah, a really nice channel. She managed to get to the Bolton show and she's done a video on it. So if you want to see what happened at Bolton, go and catch her video. She has quite an insightful way of thinking about modelling, which I quite enjoy. The Norwegian Modelling Bench. If you like your ship builds, you absolutely have to check him out. He's a very talented modeler. And he has a very nice video style, quite aspirational for some of us. So yeah, I enjoy his content. I always try and make sure not to miss him. Jeff Donahue, a moderator of mine, a long-term supporter of the channel, and definitely worth checking out his channel. He's always got several builds on. He's getting more and more like me when it comes to building, and at some point he's got to realise he's got too many builds on and have to clear his deck, I'm sure of it. But he's sorted out his modelling area. He's got into a swing that works for him. He puts an update out almost every day. Great channel. Go and check out Jeff's channel, please, and give him some support. There's Zinzan Scale Modelling. He's sort of finding his feet, I think, but he's got some very pleasurable models. He's just been reviewing the Airfix. I think it was the Lightning. I might be getting that wrong. And yeah, he's sort of finding his style and his way of working, but clearly an experienced modeler, knows what he's talking about. Then another moderator of mine, To Boldly Go Modelworks. You may well know him as James. He appears on other people's channels, live streams and things like that, but he's always on my videos because he's a moderator, a really nice guy. What he does is really short, succinct videos. So when he feels like it, he pops a video out and we get an update. So it's a nice channel because you don't have to sit there and sort of concentrate for an hour like you do with some of my stuff. He just pops up for 6 minutes, and then he's done. And I actually quite like that. So yeah, then there's Peter Oxley. I know many of you will know Peter. He's a good way of keeping up to date with what's coming out from ICM. He just focuses on kit reviews in the main. And if you like to hear someone getting cross with model companies, that's definitely a channel to follow. And then there's Nigel's Modelling Bench, which some of you might have heard of. I'm actually doing a buddy build with him right now, that Scharnhorst there. One of the nicest people in the modelling hobby that I've ever come across, and has been a supporter of my channel pretty much from the get-go. He's given me lots of lovely advice. He's been very, very helpful. Really, really nice guy. And if you're not subscribed to him, you absolutely should be. And then finally, the one channel that every single video I never miss, and he puts one out every day. And even if I'm away and I miss it, I will go and catch it up. And he's just celebrated his 5th anniversary of the model ship. Ron Calvary is what you'll find it under. His model videos are called The Model Ship, so you could search for either of those. He puts a video out every day. He's working on the Trumpeter 148 U-boat at the moment, and he's putting some upgrades in with LED lights and that sort of stuff. And he's clearly enjoying it. It's a pleasure to watch. And he talks about life in Canada, weather, people walking by, the dog next door. You get a sort of whole spectrum of what happened in his day. And it's a strangely compelling, it doesn't sound it, but it's a strangely compelling watch, and I won't miss it. That's the one channel where I never miss one. And actually, he was one of the inspirations behind me starting this channel. Only one. Nigel was another. And somebody who didn't know how to build a model ship was another. But yeah, if you've never seen Ron the model ship, it's just a really nice, entertaining video. If you're a real serious modeler, it's not a model building video it's really a video log of his day, and he just happens to spend most of his day building a model. So there you go. There's some channels that I regularly watch one way or another. There's a lot more channels out there that I dip in and out of depending on the subjects. There's some channels that generally the format I don't like, but they might do something of interest, so I'm subscribed to a lot more, an awful lot more than I've mentioned. There are some channels this year I have unsubscribed from. Basically, if there's lots of bad language, then I don't tend to watch them because I don't think there's a need for it. I think it detracts. If you can't say something using your vocabulary, then there's something not right there, and just find it uncomfortable to watch someone effing and jeffing all the way through a video. So I don't tend to watch those channels. So there are a few that I've unsubscribed from because I don't need that. So yeah, there you go. That's my channel watch list at the moment. And if there are any of those you've not watched, go and check them out. So I guess you'd like to know what's coming up next week. Yeah, I got there eventually, didn't I? So Monday we have a tool, but it's a homemade tool that I'm using on the Scharnhorst, or you'll see me using on the Scharnhorst in a couple of videos, or maybe more's time, but I'll be using it on the hull. So I show you how to make this tool, what it's used for, how it works, and I actually make it so you can follow those steps to make it. I've shared that with Nigel already, so Nigel is aware of it. I've sent him some pictures and what have you. So yeah, that's what we're doing on Monday. A shortish video, how to make this tool that I use on all my 1-200 model ships. I do it slightly differently for 1-350, but it's the same sort of idea. Then on Tuesday we've got Endeavour Part 6, and I think that is priming and putting the white line on, and we do it differently than the instructions, which I think have overcomplicated the process. So we do a simpler format, and I explain that in there. And then on Wednesday, our first impressions is the Mini Art Thunderbolt advanced kit. So you might have seen reviews. Most of the reviews that have been put out there were the basic kit because people eagerly did it when it came out, but then there was a wait before the advanced kit. So I've done the advanced kit. So if you've not seen the advanced kit, that's worth watching. If you love mini art kits, it's definitely worth watching. If you love the Thunderbolt, it's worth watching. And if you like aircraft, it's worth watching. So definitely Wednesday could be a busy day. Interesting video, I think. And that will get us up to Beaufighter 5, which I think, if memory serves, focuses on putting the glazing on, so the big glass nose on there, and masking, I think, is what we do in that one. And then that gets us back to the first table talk of February. February, busy month. My eldest daughter is going to turn 18 in February, and she's decided that she's celebrating 18, not 21. And she's had a rough week or so. So it would be nice to see her cheer up and have a bit of fun times this month, I think. So we're looking forward to that. Many of you know Daisy. She's supported on the channel a few times. Some of you met her at Telford. Yeah, so that, I think, covers everything for this week. We've talked about quite a bit. I never know where this is going to end. It's totally unscripted. I know you can't tell, but it is, honestly. Right, thank you very much for joining. The only thing left to be said is you enjoy your modelling in the week ahead. I hope to see you next week. Thanks very much for watching. Have fun, and I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.